Josh Giddy gets his first triple-double in his Chicago Bulls uniform as the Bulls beat the Brooklyn Nets. We're going to talk about it all and more, but you know what we got to do first.
You are Locked On Bulls, your daily Chicago Bulls podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Thank you for tuning in to Locked On Bulls, member of the Locked On Podcast Network, where it's your team every single day. I'm Haize, host and creator of Chicago Bulls Central and Chicago Bears Central YouTube pages and podcasts. And today's episode is brought to you guys by Game Time. Today, download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off your first purchase. The Bulls get a win over the Brooklyn Nets. And while this is not any type of statement win or anything like that, even though the Bulls beat them by a margin of 26 points, I'm not going to try to make this win out more than what it is. This was the Bulls who got a win that they should have gotten, right? When you look at the Brooklyn Nets and how many of their key players of their rotation that were missing, the Bulls should have gotten this win. Yes, we're missing Coby White. Yes, we're missing Patrick Williams. Yes, all those things, and those are two important players for the Chicago Bulls. But this is still a win over this type of team that's missing all their key players. You needed to get a win against this game. A loss here would have been inexcusable for the Chicago Bulls to lose out a game who's missing four of their top five scorers in this game. Yes, the Bulls should have gotten this win. And, while this game was entertaining to start off with, this was a fun game to watch overall for the Bulls, just because of the Bulls really separating themselves in this game. But at the start of this game, both teams going on double-digit runs, having double-digit runs in this game. And the Bulls, answering it back and answering a big run that the Brooklyn Nets went on. And throughout this game, one of the players that I want to focus on first in this game was Josh Giddy. 20 points, 13 rebounds, 11 assists. He played well, and you saw Josh Giddy's confidence build as this game went on. And that's a key thing for Josh Giddy. I really do look at Josh Giddy at this point. I think at this time with the Chicago Bulls, it's become really evident, at least to me, that he is a confidence player. If you can build his confidence early in the game, that's when you start seeing the everything of what Josh Giddy can give. And then on top of that, you also see how active he can be on defense. He's never going to be a great defender as Josh Giddy, right? There's really not a case to be made for that. But Josh Giddy, this is not a game where Josh Giddy's haters can come in here and really crap on the way that Josh Giddy performed and played basketball today for the Chicago Bulls. He did what was needed to be done. Attacked when he needed to be attacked, when he needed to attack. Got physical on the defensive side where he needed to get physical and didn't back down at times. Kept his head up. Made some big plays. While he did finish this game, of course, with that triple-double and those double-digit assists, Josh Giddy could have probably had 3 more assists easily in this game that just, whether to make the unselfish play, the pass before the pass or whatever it is, or players just missing it, he didn't get it. But it was great. And you saw the relief there for a player in Josh Giddy who has been top 4, I think, in the league in triple doubles since he came into the league each season. For him to not get that triple double and this be the first one, you almost saw a bit of relief come against Josh Giddy's face when he finally got that triple double. And it's really good to see that, right? And you want your players playing with the utmost confidence possible. Every starter in this game had a positive plus minus. Zach and Vooch had the highest as far as, plus 20 in that. But Josh Giddy played a very important role for this team as it came down the stretch of this game and just throughout the whole game and how active he was. 32 minutes as well. And again, you, of course, get the buffer of who you were playing. You were playing against a Brooklyn Nets team missing 4 of its top 5 scorers. So it's always going to be hard. It should be easy to win those games. But the way that Josh Giddy performed in this one, you got to give him a lot of credit. But it wasn't just Josh Giddy, not even just in that starting lineup. Zach LaVine, while only scoring 18 points on 13 shots, I might say, he had a very active game today. And we continue to see a Zach LaVine that really kind of understands what and where he needs to bring it offensively for this team. I'll compare it to this, right? And it's a good comparison. I'm not necessarily saying that this is what Zach has done his whole career, but Zach seems like he's gone from a player that may be worried about getting his 25 to 28 points per game to a player that's, I'm more worried about doing what it takes for my team to win. Now, if you need me to go out there and drop 30 on your head, I can do that. But I don't need to shoot in this game. Giddey got it going. Vooch got it going. Vooch on his way to another double-double as well. 21 points, 10 rebounds from Nikola Vucevic in this game, 1 steal, 3 assists. He played a really good game as well. He led the Chicago Bulls with plus minus at plus 19. So you really got good performances from that. And then, Julian Phillips, who stepped into that starting role today, 26 minutes played for Julian Phillips. He was 2 of 7 from the field, but 4 of his shots came from the three-point line. And it continues to be kind of my problem with Billy Donovan and how he just uses the power forward position. They really just stand there in the corner by design of the system to stand out there and shoot 3-pointers. But he also had 5 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal, 1 block in this game. And overall, the Bulls came in with a game plan. They executed the game plan. They didn't allow themselves to get down on themselves when the other team and the Brooklyn Nets went on runs. I think that's really important to see that as well overall. Frederick said, just left the UC. Great will. Glad they win. Brooklyn was missing many players. So glad they took advantage. And listen, I wish that I could say that, hey, yeah, the Bulls took advantage of a team missing a bunch of players. That has not always been the case from the Chicago Bulls team, unfortunately, right? We have not always been the team that has just taken care of the simple business that they need to take care of. And so it was good to see the Bulls be able to do that in this game. Nice performances as well from THT coming off the bench in this game. 17 minutes, 11 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal. Didn't shoot the ball too effectively, but he did get really active in that. And you like to see that as well from a player like THT. But everybody had their moments in this game. This was another one of those games where everybody had their own moment. And we're going to talk about some of those moments as well for Moatast, Buzelis, and Lonzo Ball coming up. But just overall in the way that this team won this game, this was also a game where the Bulls as a whole played pretty good defense. They were all active defensively. And that's not something we've always been able to say about this team, right? When you look at one of the things that have been the Bulls' Achilles heel over the season is points allowed off turnovers and points allowed in the paint. The Chicago Bulls in this game only allowed the Brooklyn Nets to have 15 points off turnovers. That may still sound like too much because, for great teams, it probably is. But for the Bulls that have regularly allowed 20 points plus off turnovers, it's good that they did that. And, the Bulls themselves got 21 points off turnovers. So they turned some of their usual deficiencies into positives for them in this game. Same trend with points in the paint. The Bulls, who have regularly allowed 50 to 60 points in the paint per game, 40 points in the paint today by the Brooklyn Nets. They scored 62 points in the paint themselves, and that was just by the nature of how this team was attacking offensively. And you can get into a team rhythm on both sides of the ball. It could be a team rhythm defensively. It could be a team rhythm offensively. If you want to have a really great game, both sides of the ball, they get into this team rhythm. And that's what it really was. The team got in the zone today for the Chicago Bulls. And it was evident. It was felt. The way that this team fought and competed in this game was good. Now, I said it at the start of the show. I'm going to say it again. The buffer is you were playing against the Brooklyn Nets, and a lot of these players that were playing for them today just aren't NBA caliber players. So there's that aspect of it, right? And I know my more pessimistic Bulls fans are going to look at this and say, hey, yeah, but we faced off against the carcass of the Brooklyn Nets. And we did. Make no mistake about it. But how many times over the last 3 years, over the last 4 years, have we seen a team that the Bulls were playing, whether then they should have been better than, whether they were missing their star player, no matter what it was, that we still ended up losing the game? Right. So while I'm not going to gas this win up to mean more than what it really meant in reality, it is still good to see your team just be able to take care of the simple business that they should have been able to take care of anyway. And they get a little bit of credit for that. And it's just how they came into this game prepared and with a game plan. And that was something that we haven't always seen the Bulls, and the coaching staff gets kudos to that as well. Now, it could just be because you weren't playing against really good competition, but we saw this team get physical, and that's been something that the Bulls haven't always dealt really good with, is a team that likes to get physical against them. And that's what the Brooklyn Nets tried to do in the second half of this game. They tried to get more and more physical with the Bulls because they understood that they didn't have the scoring, they didn't have the shooting or whatever to really compete. So they got more physical. And so the Bulls really responded really well to this. When you look at halftime, they had a small lead, of course, by 6 points. They had a lead at half. And then they came out of that second half in the third quarter, and they outscored them by 14 points in the third quarter of this game. And that's really where the game changed. And the Bulls never gave it back at that point. They never gave it back at that point. And we haven't been able to say that a whole lot about the Chicago Bulls. Well, you know what we haven't been able to say a whole lot of? Two things. We haven't been able to see a whole lot of Lonzo Ball on the court, and we haven't gotten to say that Moatast Buzelis has played over 20 minutes and scored over 20 points a lot so far in the season. And we're going to talk about that. But first, we've got to get into a message from two of our sponsors. That's Prize Picks and Game Time. All right, Bulls fans, man. Prize Picks got you guys covered on everything that you could possibly need, man. Prize Picks is the best place to get real money on sports action. With over 10 million members and billions of dollars in awarded winnings, Prize Picks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. You just pick more or less on each of the last two players for a shot to win up to 100 times your cash. Run your game all season long on Prize Picks. You can win up to 100 times your money on Prize Picks with as little as 4 correct picks. Prize Picks is the best way to get action on sports in over 30 states, including California, Florida, Georgia, and Texas. Prize Picks is the best place to get real money on sports action. Join over 10 million users and sign up today. Sign up today and get $50 instantly when you play $5. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. PrizePicks also offers weekly promotions that can lead to big payouts like Taco Tuesday. Each Tuesday, PrizePicks discounts select player projections up to 25% to provide even more value for your lineups. So, download the app today and use code LOCKEDONNBA and get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks, run your game. We also got to talk to you guys about Game Time. You guys know Game Time has been a consistent sponsor here over at the Locked On Podcast Network. They are the place to get your tickets for any live event, theater, comedy, of course, your sports games, anything. Prize Picks got you covered. And they have a new feature called Game Time Picks that makes getting tickets even easier to see your favorite teams play. Game Time Picks filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. Plus, if you toggle in the all-in pricing, this feature will show you the total upfront with no surprise fees at checkout. Plus, you can get a panoramic view of your seat in the app before you even buy. And Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference if you find tickets for a lower price on any other site. Your purchase is covered with the most flexible customer service policy in the ticketing industry. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time Picks. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code. That's LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it? It's game time. More Locked On Bulls coming up next. All right, Bulls fans, man. I want to thank you guys for tuning in and sticking with us through another episode of Locked On Bulls. And we got Moatast Buzelis playing another really good game. The thing with Moatast that we're seeing with Moatast Buzelis is that his confidence is building. Much like I said with Josh Giddy and how he is a confidence player, you're seeing Moatast Buzelis just, I think he understands the timing of the game a lot better. And that's paying off for him in a major way. In this game, 22 minutes, he went 7 of 10 from the field. 4 or 5 from three-point line. He got to the free throw line twice, hit both of those. He also chipped in 5 rebounds, 4 of those being defensive rebounds, 1 assist, and 2 blocks. No turnovers, and he had a plus-minus of plus 17 on his way to his now career high of 20 points with the Chicago Bulls. This was a good game for Moatast Buzelis. And you saw very early on that Moatast Buzelis understood that his athleticism could not be stopped by the players that the Brooklyn Nets were putting out there on him. And that was a Moatast Buzelis that is just continually gaining that confidence. Then as Billy Donovan is trusting him to play more and more, we're seeing a Moatast Buzelis that just he's flashing a bit of all that potential that got him drafted by the Chicago Bulls. Eddie says, Buzz breaking out. Hey, listen. I don't know if we can call it a breakout yet, but he's having a really, really good game so far. Or he had a really good game tonight. Rob, a rookie high in triple-double in the same game, has that ever happened before in Bulls history? Nothing too important, but just wondering. I don't know. I'd have to do some research on that one, but yeah, man, I agree. Dan says Bulls about to release the best with Moatast. Let's hope so, right? The thing that we need to see is Billy Donovan going to continue to reward Moatast Buzelis? Right, we saw earlier in the month of November that Moatast had a big game, and then he turned around and played 4 minutes the next game, right? And so you just want to continually see Moatast earn more opportunity. And as long as he's earning it, yeah, let the leash off of him a little bit more. When you look at it, out of the last 6 games that Moatast Buzelis has played, 4 of those games have been over 20 minutes. One was 17 minutes and one was 5 minutes. So it seems like he's starting to play a little bit more, that Billy Donovan is trusting him more and more. And and of course you want a player when they play more minutes to give more production, but he's becoming more efficient because it seems like he's trusting that shot, right? That's a really good thing for Moatast Buzelis. He's understanding when to cut to the rim, which always was in his instincts, but it seems like he's better equipped for the physicality. He now understands the physicalness that it's going to take to play at the NBA level. He still has some large work to do defensively, make no mistake about it, right? But the things are starting to round out for Moatast. And this is why when people were calling and asking Billy Donovan, like, why send him to the G League? He needs reps up here. This is why, because with more minutes, we're seeing Moatast Buzelis play. In the games where Moatast Buzelis has had over 20 minutes, we're going to go over the stat lines. So over 20, he played 20 minutes on November 22nd against the Atlanta Hawks. He went 3 of 8 from the field, 9 points, 4 rebounds, 2 blocks in that game, and a steal. You look at the next game against the Memphis Grizzlies. He played 29 minutes in that game. He went 6 of 13 for 46% from the field, 14 points, 3 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 block. The next game that he played over 20 minutes was against the Orlando Magic. 25 minutes in that game, not great shooting, 2 of 7 for 7 points, but he did have a block. He did have a rebound. He fouled out in that game. That's going to be a tough matchup for him, I understand, in that one. And then tonight's game, of course. Buzelis has tremendous potential. And I tell you one thing that's going to help unlock that potential in Moatast Buzelis is Lonzo Ball. And we got to see Lonzo Ball. He did stick to his minutes restriction today. So only 13 minutes for Lonzo Ball in this game. This isn't the type of game you needed to play Lonzo 20 plus minutes anyway. But he went 2 of 5 from the field, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal, but he was a +8 from the field. And what you're seeing, that Lonzo's passing is infectious. Lonzo's defense is infectious. Lonzo's just activity. You can tell when Lonzo's on the court, the energy level rises a little bit more because he just makes the game more simple for the players that he's playing out there with. And Moatast Buzelis was one of the guys that benefited from that today. And it was really good to see. And as Lonzo plays more minutes as well and plays hopefully in more games, and Moatast Buzelis' minutes goes up, I can see these guys being a really nice. Matter of fact, I'm going to throw 3 players in that. Jalen Smith, Moatast Buzelis, Lonzo Ball. That can be a really nice bench unit for you. And mainly because Jalen and Moatast both know how to move without the ball. Jalen is a pick and pop threat as well as a lob threat around the rim, which Lonzo's going to love playing with. Moatast Buzelis, as long as he's cutting and out there being active, Lonzo's going to be able to find him. This bench unit has a lot of untapped potential still left in it. Ios had to be in the starting lineup. Julian was in the starting lineup today. But look out for that 3-man connection, especially while Patrick is still out. Lonzo Ball, Jalen Smith, Moatast Buzelis. Watch those guys and see how they grow together. And even the minutes that we got today with Lonzo and Josh Giddy out on the court as well. Like, that was one of the units that helped us overcome and got us back on a run after the Brooklyn Nets went on a run. And that, again, it allows for so much creativity. At that point, when you have 2 passers like Giddey and Lonzo Ball out there at the same time, all you got to do is move. You just got to move without the ball. And these guys are going to find you. And with Vooch playing the way that he's playing as well, down low in the post like he's supposed to play, it just opens up so much more on the perimeter for guys as well. I'm not saying this Bulls team is going to win a lot of games doing it, but you want to play and you want to teach players how to play right. And the Bulls have the framework on how to play right. And that's what you want more than anything. Whatever happens at the trade deadline happens at the trade deadline. But one of the important things in all of this is just playing the right way, learning what it takes to win. And we're starting to see that a little bit as well. Rob says, we even saw Giddey do what Lonzo does in leaving his assignment and reading passes. I wonder if Lonzo was yelling at him to do that. Giddey has done that before. And that's why I say Giddey is such a confidence player. Like, you'll know in games where Giddey's confidence builds early, you'll notice he's a completely different player. If Giddey comes out and misses a defensive assignment, misses his first few shots, right? Then you start phasing him out the offense a little bit, unfortunately, via Billy Donovan. And that confidence is gone. If you can get Giddey confident and rocking and rolling early, he's a completely different player throughout the majority of the game. And he's a player that, the Bulls need. And you can use that skill set that he has to help this team be a better team. But we're going to be talking about the Bulls getting some rest, which could help them be better in the month of December than they were in the month of November. But first, we got to get into the message from BetterHelp. All right, I want to start off with this one telling you guys that this show is sponsored, of course, by BetterHelp. And with everything going on right now, it's winter. Seasonal depression is a thing. You guys got to take care of yourselves, and BetterHelp can help you do that. And with that said, how do you stay cozy in the winter months? For some, wrapping up in a blanket with a mug of hot chocolate or watching a movie with family is the best way to spend the month of December. Therapy is a great way to bring yourself some comfort that never goes away, even when the season changes. If you're thinking about starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Just fill out the brief questionnaire and get matched with the licensed therapist and switch therapists at any time for no additional charge. That ability to switch therapists is a very important part of that. You got to find the right therapist. There's been so many people that I know that have given up on therapy just because they didn't have necessarily the best connection with their therapist. Finding the right therapist is just like finding the right doctor. It's that important in you trying to take care of your mental health. Find comfort this December with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/LockedOnNBA today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/LockedOnNBA. More Locked On Bulls coming up next. All right, Bulls fans, man. Thank you guys for sticking out. By the way, did I mention that your favorite Bulls podcast, Locked On Bulls, now has a daily newsletter? Matter of fact, you can get daily newsletters from all the NBA teams, all the Locked On channels. Just go to LockedOnDaily.com and sign up for the newsletter that you want to hit your inbox every single morning. With that said, let's get into this last topic I want to talk about today, and that is the Chicago Bulls having more of an ability to get some rest. And I got to give credit out. Somebody actually left this in the comment section over at Chicago Bulls Central, and I thought that is a great point. Now, the Bulls have right now scheduled 11 days off between December 8th and December 19th. That's between the Philly and the Boston game. There's probably going to be a game or two added on to that. Keep in mind, every team that doesn't advance to the finals in the NBA Cup gets 2 games added back to their schedule. That's why we faced the Spurs 2 times last year. There's probably going to be a game, maybe both games added into that. But when you look at it, the Bulls have 2 days off today after this game, right? They don't play again. Well, 3 days off. They don't play again until Thursday. Then they play Friday. You have a back-to-back. Then they have a break on that on Sunday. And then they don't play again to then scheduled right now until Thursday the 19th, which is 11 days after that. So the Bulls right now, for a team that's played a lot of games in a condensed amount of time, have a chance to get more practices in. And when you pair that with the fact that the Bulls now move their practices and their shoot-arounds to the UC, having a little bit more home cooking, being able to get more things on, maybe the Bulls work on some things that are surely lacking and missing with this team that could really help this team kind of try to win some more games. Now, I know a lot of Bulls fans are going to say, but Haize, every win is a loss and every loss is a win because we need to keep that top 10 pick. I get it. I understand you. You're heard and you're felt. But guess what? Teams are still trying to win basketball games. You still want to play your best version of basketball. And so overall, while the Bulls are still in this period of time where they're trying to figure out what the next step with this roster is going to be, what moves, what deals are potentially out there, having more rest. The Bulls right now only 10 games on their schedule for the month of December. We played, I believe, 15 or 16 games in the month of November. This is really important. This is really an important part of this. And we'll see what the Bulls can end up doing in this, man. We'll see what the Bulls, hopefully this helps kind of getting everybody back healthy. You got Coby, you got Patrick Williams still out, as well as working with Peter Patton, young guys like Dalen, Julian, Moatast, Buzelis, hopefully they can get some more work and reps in with Peter Patton as well as with the shooting coach, and they can work on some things. And that's really what the rest of the season is going to look like for the Bulls. How much can you work on? What are you learning? What right routines and habits are you learning? And how we're developing the young guys. And Moatast Buzelis, when you look at how this started off for him, between how now it looks like it's going to be for him, if he keeps performing at this level, he's making it be to a point where Billy Donovan's going to have to play him. And that's going to be the best for Moatast Buzelis. I think that that's also the best for the present and the future of this team. We just got to see if Billy Donovan's going to do it consistently. That's the one thing that's always up in air when it comes to these type of things. Will Billy keep doing it? Willie. Let's hope that he does. Let's hope that he continues to find his way, man. But that's my time for today, guys. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Make sure you guys are following the show at Locked On Bulls. You can follow me personally at CEO Haize if you choose to do so. Locked On Bulls is free and available on every podcasting app and platform of your choice, as well as YouTube, Odyssey, Amazon Fire TV. Basically, anywhere that you want to see this face or hear this voice to get your podcast, we're available. And don't forget checking on the Locked On Bulls daily newsletter as well. Go to lockedondaily.com to sign up for that. Help your boy out. That's my time, man. Thank you guys for tuning in. This is your Tuesday episode, so you won't see my face again till Wednesday. Love you guys. Go Bulls. See red. Peace.